Greetings everyone, Joe Davis here. Welcome to Southern New Hampshire University, CJ 104, Ethical Leadership. I want to go backward here just a little bit for those of you that are with me in 15 EW1 and talk about last week's discussion board because you all did well and I have some ideas about how you might do a little bit better, and it'll build toward doing a better job on your final project and frankly getting a little more out of class. Okay, here's the basic assignment. Consider the story of Toby Groves. Toby Groves' brother went to prison 20 years ago for being a bank fraud person. Dad was crushed, promised his dad he wouldn't do it. 20 years later, Toby does it. Toby makes a decision because his business is in trouble. He borrows money against his house. He has to falsify the income because his business is broke. And he enlists the help, and to his surprise, people that work for him helped. And then he went to a title company that does the search to make sure title's clear, and later financed a house that did not exist. So once again, he had help. So those are the basics real quickly of the case. All of you wrote about that, and that's good stuff. You told me the story, or you told each other the story of it, and tried to answer in the story versions. I graded all of that very liberally because I said that's what I would do, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Usually I'll have one of these hopefully for the rest of this course. Okay, so what we're looking for in the readings and in the podcast, there were different explanations of this unethical behavior, and that's what we want to look for, are the reasons or the differences in behavior and the types of corruption rather than just the story. Okay, so do you think the ethical responsibilities of criminal justice professionals are different from businessmen like Troy Groves? Okay, and a lot of you wrote a lot of things. What I would suggest you consider doing, certainly for week 3, that is define or analyze what is ethical responsibility. And I say that versus an ethical decision outcome. Okay, so do you think the ethical responsibilities of a criminal justice professional are different from businessmen like Troy? What I would encourage you to think about in that process before you answer and then incorporate it into your answer is, in that podcast there was discussion about cognitive frames and how the researchers ask people questions, and if they phrased it as a business question, which is what Toby Groves faced, the respondents, in this case Troy, I think I said Toby, I apologize, Troy, acted what would be considered unethically, okay, because it was for profit, and most of you got that. If you phrase that decision, that question, that issue as an ethical one, is it ethical to lie on your loan application about your income to save your business? People answer completely differently. Okay, so is there a common connection between the material in that podcast and in the question you're asked? Hint, yes, otherwise it wouldn't be part of the assignment. Okay, so in the article there's also discussion of 3 types of corruption. Individual corruption, where there are a few corrupt individual officers work in a department that discourages corruption. Well, that's Toby's old company. It was highly ethical. He was motivated to do that. But once he made that decision, he went to his trusted employees, I guess you would say, and they went along with it. So we have an individual type of corruption going on. Then there's organizational corruption, where illegal and unprofessional acts are common involving officers and administrators. You might say that's what it was the second time around when he did the loan on a non-existent piece of property. Okay, so put your critical thinking skills on, try not to be a storyteller, and it is more important than ever because these issues become more and more complex. I'm going to back up for a second because it seems like there was something else I wanted to mention to you, and for the life of me, we talked about the cognitive frames. Of course it will come to me as soon as I log up. I hope that helps you a little bit. I'll get the YouTube video here done for discussion 3. I have read, I think 4 or 5 of you have posted, and you've done very, very well on it. You've been able to pull out the complex issues that are in there, so that's great news. Keep those cards and letters coming. Anything I can do to help, let me know.